Meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Oh, we'll do pledge. of
Sorry.
allegiance.
Pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now roll call.
Yes. Mayor Gibbons,
Here.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Here.
Councilmember Zimmer,
Here.
Councilmember Jack Sadek.
Here.
Councilmember Litzo is absent. Councilmember McLean,
Here.
Councilmember Reinecker.
Here.
All righty. Since there are no recognitions or presentations today, we're going to move to the public hearing. At this time, the council recessed to conduct the public hearing regarding the request for a special use permit for outdoor dining at Cafe Napoli at 436 North Kirkwood Road. Mr. Hessel, do you wish to enter any exhibits into the record?
I do, Mayor. I'd offer as Exhibit 1, the affidavit of publication verifying that notice of this hearing appeared in the St. Louis County. Exhibit 2 is the affidavit of publication verifying notice of public hearing appeared in the Webster Kirkwood Times. Exhibit 3 is the list of property owners to whom notice of this hearing has been sent. Exhibit 4 is the viewer map showing the property that is the subject of the public hearing as well as the surrounding properties. Exhibit 5 is a report from the Planning and Zoning Commission, Lauren, or in particular, City Planner number 1, proposing to the Planning and Zoning Commission the outdoor dining proposal. Exhibit 6 is the report of the Planning and Zoning Commission dated June 6, 2024, which after a presentation by staff for a special use permit for outdoor dining for Cafe Napoli at 436 North Kirkwood Road in the James Apartment Building, the commission recommended approval by a vote of 7-0. And Exhibit 7 is the Code of Ordinances of the City of Kirkwood.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Hessel, I'm sorry, Mr. Hawes,
Mhm.
who will present this issue to the city council?
That would be City Planner Lauren Herr.
Thank you, Lauren. Do you have?
Okay, thank you. As Russ said, my name is Lauren Herr. I'm the Planner 1 here at City Hall. I'm here today to walk you through the special use permit application for outdoor dining at 436 North Kirkwood Road. First, I'll kind of orient you to where we are and then talk about the request. So 436 North Kirkwood Road is a mixed-use 5-story building located on the east side of North Kirkwood Road between East Washington, and it's just south of the Alpine Shop. It is zoned B2, the Central Business District. The first floor is occupied by the leasing office, a UMB bank branch, as well as planned space for the indoor portion of Cafe Napoli. And that's who is applying for the special use permit tonight. The covered dining area is shown in pink here. It's about 1,000 square feet in area. It's about 17 feet wide and 62.5 feet long. As seen on the diagram, the outdoor dining area is directly adjacent to the outdoor public plaza and the expanded public sidewalk, which are both associated with a public use agreement. The outdoor seating area in pink was always proposed as a separate private space. The outdoor dining area is shown here in red. Again, it's about 1,000 square feet. The restaurant is allowed up to 49 outdoor dining seats without additional parking requirements, as long as the seats remain in an unenclosed area. Therefore, no additional on-site parking is required to accommodate this outdoor dining request. While the code doesn't require additional parking for this outdoor seating, even if this outdoor dining space was evaluated as a restaurant floor area, it would still meet the city's requirements for parking. These are some photos of the site. The top right shows what you would see as you exit the restaurant into the outdoor dining area. And the other photos show some different perspectives from the public plaza and the side of the covered patio. The applicant is requesting a maximum of up to 49 outdoor dining seats in this covered area. The days and hours of operation are proposed as 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday. The applicant estimates that there will be anywhere from 15 to 20 total employees. That'll max out at 20 during the busier Friday and Saturday shifts. The applicant is also requesting outdoor entertainment in the form of speakers during the same restaurant hours of operation. Here you can see the two restaurant areas. The indoor dining area is about 4,700 square feet. It leads out to the outdoor dining area, which again is about 1,000 square feet. It's important to note that the interior restaurant space is permitted by right, where it's just the outdoor dining area that requires this special use permit that we're discussing today. So on June 5th, this was reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission and received a recommendation for approval by a vote of 7-0. These are some of the conditions that were listed with the request. On the first one, it states that it is for up to 49 seats, and it is in specifically the 1,000 square foot area under the existing building overhang. We spoke about the hours of operation. The outdoor dining area will be operated at the same time as the restaurant. And additionally, the outdoor entertainment is proposed to operate at the same time as the hours of operation for the restaurant. And we did include a note that this excludes any live outdoor entertainment. So it's only in the form of speakers. This is a list of the criteria that you should all take into consideration when you decide whether or not to grant the special use permit. I just want to highlight one, that it's established as an allowed special use in the zoning district. Number two, the proposed use and design are consistent with the general purpose of the code. And number 7, that the proposed use of outdoor dining will be harmonious with the existing or intended character of the general vicinity. And then lastly, number 11, that the proposed use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding properties. So that is all I have. I'm here available for any additional questions you might have. And there is also a representative of Cafe Napoli here to answer questions as well.
Would the representative like to say anything?
Hello, my name is Paul Fuse here on behalf of the Pietoso family, and I just want to say they're very excited to open a new restaurant in Kirkwood. This will be their 5th restaurant in St. Louis, and they initially started this as kind of more of a pizza and pasta restaurant, and then the more research they did, they realized that Kirkwood lacks finer dining options. So this is going to be very similar to what they offer in their Clayton and Town and Country locations, and they're just very excited to be here, and they would abide by everything in the code. The current plan shows only 40 seats outside with the ability, if they have larger parties, to expand the seating. So they're very excited to be here and here to answer any questions you may have.
Does the council have any questions? Councilmember Zimmer.
Good evening. Thank you. Where will these speakers be located?
We think they're
outside?
going to be up against the patio glass. So it'll be the same music playing inside the restaurant, we'll be playing outside. So it'll
Gotcha.
be just a
Okay.
continuation of that
You're
same.
just continuing the inside atmosphere
Yes,
outside.
yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
All right. Thank you very much.
Councilmember
And this may
Chris.
be for Lauren. The public space is, so which one is where the public space is and then the tables? So these tables or seating won't go into the public space? If you'll talk through that a little bit, again, I'm trying to think of how, I don't have the perspective of that.
Covered patio.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I can help explain that. So the seating will just be under the overhang that you see here. On the top left, you can see some installations in the public plaza. The seating will not go past those black pillars. So it'll stay under the overhang. And yeah, there might be additional barriers between the seating and the plaza.
I was gonna say, will there be any barriers or will that all be open as far as you know, or planning?
It depends on like the health code with restricting like 21 plus access. I know that may sometimes be related, but that's not my area of expertise.
How many seating in that, under the overhang? 49?
They're requesting up to 49. I believe Paul said that they're planning for 40 generally with the ability to expand for larger parties.
There's that, that's what you think.
In the
Okay.
larger groups, they'll be able to expand.
Just leave those all out there all the time, you move.
What's
Yes.
the timing on opening, Paul?
We're shooting for September, October.
Oh, wow.
What's your job for them?
I work for CBRE, so I'm the real estate broker on
Right.
behalf of Trammell Crow, the landlord, as well as the Pietosos.
Right.
They had a really busy night, so Kai Pietoso wasn't able to make it, but he asked me to come to this
All right,
place.
good.
Any additional questions?
Just a couple, this might be for Lauren. With the speakers outside, is there a decibel about that they're allowed to go, or what happens if neighbors, like residents in the James, complain? What's the procedure for that?
So it will still be subject to the nuisance code. So if there are complaints that come up, those would be responded to, similar to other sound complaints.
Is that dictated by the loudness, by certain decibel amount, do you know?
It is not, Mark. We do not try to calculate whether or not there's a nuisance violation based upon decibel readings. There's a variety of reasons why we don't do that, particularly in a location like this where you have people walking by. We had decibel readings probably 35, 40 years ago, and I recommend we take them out particularly for locations like this, because any of the ambient noise, you and I walking by and talking, will ruin the test. They're virtually impossible to implement on this kind of an environment. So we have it based upon a complaint basis. If, for example, you're a neighbor and it's annoying to you as a reasonable person, then a complaint will be issued. We always encourage the complainant to record it so we can take that evidence to court and have the judge listen to it.
Okay, because we have this, another one on the agenda tonight too for outside.
Right.
dining, so I was just kind of curious. in
Mhm.
general. Then as far as the parking goes, you said 15, 20 employees, are they required to park anywhere they want, or is there gonna be an employee parking area?
So there's no specified employee. The developer, property owner may choose to designate areas for employee parking. The code doesn't require specific areas for employee parking. We actually don't require parking based on number of employees anymore either. It's a blended rate based on square footage. So for restaurants, it's 1 per 100 square feet or 10 per 1,000 square feet. And that incorporates visitors, guests, and employees. So, and Lauren didn't go through this. She mentioned that this, with the outdoor seating area staying under 49, it's not required parking by our code. There's excess of about 14 parking spaces in excess of what our code requires. But I mean,
I just see Naples as being hugely successful and being.
We hope so.
Yeah.
But so busy places that it's hard to find parking is a good thing.
You betcha.
I have a couple
Yeah.
questions, Jonathan.
Okay.
One is, I did not, I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. The covered patio was never part of the outdoor public space.
That's correct.
Okay.
They always knew this was going to be private space for their goal was to get a restaurant in here and have this for outdoor seating.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. I didn't realize that. And then where are customers going to be parking? I mean, can they use the garage?
I believe the surface parking lot, is the garage all for residential
Yeah, the
tenants?
garage is reserved for the residents, but
Okay.
there's, I believe, is it 82 exact, maybe 82 to 89 spaces, which is what attracted Napoli to this spot, because Kirkwood is obviously very tight on parking and having.
No, don't talk about
Hey, it's not
It's a good
true.
thing, but you know,
We have plenty of parking. You just have to walk a little.
yeah, there's dedicated parking for this space.
Okay, and it's on the south side, so
Yes.
how are you gonna prevent people from parking on the Alpine Shop?
That's
parking
gonna
lot?
be, I think people may get ticketed, may get a notice, but
Oh.
it's probably gonna be an issue at the very beginning, but in the end, we think it's gonna work out. And the Trammell Crow, the developer, has had extensive conversations with Alpine Shop, working through the easements that are there, and they're aware that, they're gonna be watching too. So,
Okay.
and Cafe Napoli is very, aware of this, and they're gonna dedicate their clients to park in the rear where the parking is loud. And I will say the residents, all their parking is covered, so the exterior, majority of the exterior is for both Commerce Bank and Cafe Napoli.
Okay.
So there's what they view based on what they have in Clayton and Streets of St. Charles.
Yeah.
This is more parking than they've ever had before.
Oh, okay.
And they've never had any issues with it.
Just pass that around, would you? Okay, any additional questions, anybody? No? All right, well, thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much. Appreciate
Please
it.
pass it on that we're thrilled that we're gonna have
Definitely
this
will.
fine restaurant here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, no. Okay. All right, so now we're going to move to,
We
We're
have
gonna-
public.
Questions from?
I'm sorry. Questions from the public on this topic. Do you have any cards?
Mayor and council, there are no requests for comment at this time.
Great, thank you. So we are closing this public hearing and the bill will be on the July 18th council meeting agenda for first reading consideration. Okay. All righty. So now we're working on general public comments. Is there anyone that would like to make? Oh, my gosh. Okay.
I can't.
First, Lori will make a statement.
Okay. The public comments portion of the meeting is an opportunity for the city council to listen to comments from citizens. It is not a question and answer session, and the city council will not respond to comments or answer questions during this period. The mayor may refer any matter brought up to the city council to the chief administrative officer or city clerk if action is needed.
Very good. All right. So now,
Ask him if he's got any cards. I
David, do
say
you?
just take your time because I think someone's filling one out right now.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't feel that way.
David, do you?
Right, Liz?
Oh, wait, no?
Mayor and council,
No.
Not.
Yes,
Okay,
well,
do we have any cards for public comments?
Right, she's getting a reservation.
Mayor and council, I do not have any requests at this time.
Okay, thank you, David. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion and a second for to approval of the consent agenda?
Motion. Second.
Are there any questions or comments? No? Okay. No. All those in favor?
Well, I'm sorry, I just have a quick question on resolution 100, 2024.
We pull it from the consent and move it to
No,
new
well,
business for discussion?
Yes. Yes.
One general question is, what is the Laserfish software for? Is that? do we-
Can do you want me to answer that? I can answer that.
As custodian of records, we'll have Lori. answer.
Okay, so the Laserfish software is mainly used for electronic storage of our records. It is approved by the Department of Justice to be as a valid software. So we will, try to put as many records in as we can. It can be then technically become in that system because it's DOJ approved, an official, like your original at that point, because you're scanning in the signature and that helps the city also start getting rid of paper copies of stuff because we have it.
It's
stored-
OCR searchable.
Right.
That's what it's all
Okay.
about.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I
it-
thought, but I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yep.
okay, perfect. Then I'm in favor of it.
Okay, you're okay. Okay, all those in favor of approval of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, very good. The consent agenda has passed. Since there's no unfinished business, we're going to move to new business. Bill 11037.
Mayor and Council, 1037, 1 second, sorry. Mayor and Council, this is an ordinance granting a special use permit for outdoor dining at 10935 Manchester Road, Suite 200. Snarf's Sandwiches, subject to certain conditions.
Okay. Do I have a motion and a second for Bill 11037?
Second.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments? No? All right. Then we, all in favor of the first reading for approval of Bill 11037, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right. Bill 11037 has passed first reading approval. Bill 11038.
Mayor and Council, this is an ordinance changing the zoning from B4 Planned Commercial District to B2 Central Business District on the property known as 119 West Woodbine Avenue, being an approximately 0.21 acre site on the north side of West Woodbine Avenue, and directing such change in the zoning district map.
Do I have a motion to accept and second to accept Bill 11039?
Motion.
Second.
Are there any questions?
Yep.
Councilmember Reinecker.
I have a question. I should ask this on the previous one. On these issues where property owners are notified, there's always a list of them. Are those, if anybody responds to those, are we notified by the responses? Or where do we see the responses?
If we receive
If we receive
email,
some.
email goes to Lori and Lori shares that email with you.
It wouldn't be in this packet, though.
No, it wouldn't be in this packet.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll
okay,
just
so-
forward it on to you, as I do any other email I
Something for you to
receive
keep
from the
track of.
public. Huh?
Something for me to keep track of, okay.
Sir.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I was afraid
Councilmember
of that.
Schaefer, did you-
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. All those in favor of the first reading of Bill 11037, please say aye.
39.
I'm sorry, 38. Please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill 11038 has passed. All right. Now we move on to Bill 11039.
Mayor and Council, this is an ordinance appropriating $349,100 from the general fund balance to the machinery and equipment account for ERP project management consulting services.
All righty. Yes, I need a motion and a
Motion.
second. Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this bill?
I do.
Yes.
Russ, is this an hourly rate or is this a project to completion rate?
So this is an hourly rate of $210 on the Barry Dunn contract.
How many hours is this gonna cover, do you think?
We've got an analysis on that. David may have that right
Like
now. I'm not-
1,000 plus? Can you?
Oh, it's well over 1,000.
Can you go ahead and use your little calculator? We'll talk amongst yourselves.
Over 1,000 for multiple personnel from Barry Dunn.
So there'll be several people at the same level doing, will this get the project completed?
Yes, this should be to get it through completion.
You know how many, like weeks, whatever that this is, if it's a,
We're projecting, we still have 4 out of 5 phases to finalize,
4 out of 5?
but several of them are right at completion. We're expecting this all to be completed by the end of this fiscal year.
Not until March.
I'd asked, Russ and I have had some communications on this. And my concern was the initial budget was 2.3 million. Now it's gone up by 349,000 to 2,649,000. And Barry Dunn initially only wanted, the estimate was 280,000. And I understand this is a software conversion and integration, and those things always take twice as much time and cost more money than anyone ever expects. But they're now asking for 349,000 above the 280,000. So it's more than what they double what they asked for initially, or estimated initially. And I'd asked Russ for some figures, it was late in the afternoon, right before the meeting, what we've paid these guys to date, and he hadn't had time to get that. And I'd like to maybe make a motion to continue this to the next meeting, just to get those numbers and maybe get some more clarification from staff why there's so much, why this is so much over budget.
If I
Um,
could clarify something real quick, we can still get those numbers before second reading. This is only first reading. This doesn't actually affirm anything other than first reading. So we can get those to you before second reading and you can determine if you want to support it. And that way it wouldn't hold it up at all.
And then for, another thing we discussed a little bit, apparently one of the reasons is staff turnover has
Oh,
been an issue.
A primary reason.
Primary reason. And so I'd like to get with Russ and encourage others, maybe we have a sit down to figure out why there's such staff turnover causing us to incur an extra $350,000.
Mhm. Well, and I'd be glad to just give a little background on this. It's not Barry Dunn requesting this money. It's us requesting them to continue doing the services that we need in order to finish this project. They're not asking for more money. We estimated at the beginning of the process, and we feel it was a good estimate, that with our staff and our resources available to us, that we would take the lesser of their offerings, which was a limited consultation service. You can see it in the information that I sent you, Mr. McLean. But basically they, in their contract that identified their hourly rate, they said one was for 1,080 hours of limited service and the other was 2,000 something. What it turns out is because of the staff turnover and because of the intricacy of the data conversion and the assistance that's required for all our personnel to set up this software and to integrate it through all our systems, basically that limited capacity that they were serving us in, we've determined, not they, we've determined that in order to finish this project on time and to where we can actually utilize the systems to benefit the city the best, we need them to come in on a more than limited basis. They need to come in and give the full consultation services. And that's why it's a doubling of their cost to the city. And that's why we're coming to council. First of all, it has been contemplated that we may need to do this. There was no contingency in this. And we wanted to make sure that, if we could get it done with no contingency, that would be great. But the circumstances and the facts that we've had turnover, we've had 6 of our 8 people in the finance department are different than when this started. So that's 75% of our population that was involved in doing this is different now,
including the leader.
including the leader who retired. Didn't leave because of any other reason than she had been here for 30 years or however many years she'd been with the city. But it's unfortunate that the timing was what it was. We've got a great assistant in that department that has held on through all of it, but is hugely taxed and burdened as we're bringing in a new finance director who is highly qualified, but still has to get up to speed. She was brought in March, basically was the first month that she was here, and getting up to speed, and we have to do the audit. We have to do the closing of the fiscal year, all the things that we normally do. It became clear to us in our analysis, in David's analysis primarily, he advised me that in order to get this done, we need more money into the budget to have Barry Dunn complete the services at a higher level than what we originally anticipated. So that's how it went up. As I said, we have money set aside. There are ARPA funds that we didn't utilize all of our ARPA funds initially because we wanted to hold those in abeyance for this type of situation, if we need them. We haven't expended them. They've been sitting there. We're just asking council now, in order to complete this project, let's utilize those ARPA funds. That's where we are.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay,
And I just have a question I will pose it to you, but I don't know if you're going to be able to answer it. But if we vote now before the second reading, we want to continue it at that point, we can do that. Correct. Good.
Yes,
Okay. All right. So instead of holding it up, we could do it, get more information.
correct.
And then if we still had questions, okay.
Absolutely right. And that's not unusual.
I withdraw
Um,
my motion then.
okay, thank you. All right. Any other questions? Anything? Okay. All in favor of the first reading approval of Bill 11039, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Okay, very good. Resolution 101, 2024.
Mayor and council, this is a resolution accepting the bid of KJ Understall Construction in the not-to-exceed amount of $716,367.68, including a contingency of $76,753.68 for water main replacement on Rayner Road and Taylor Drive, and authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a contract.
Okay, do I have a motion and a second to accept resolution 101, 2024 as read?
Motion. Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Are there any questions or comments? Councilmember Zimmer?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to amend Resolution 101-2024 to replace Taylor Drive with Taylor Young Drive, wherever it is listed in the resolution.
Good. Is there, we need a second.
Second.
Second. Is there any discussion?
On his motion?
Wrong street.
The motion.
Just on my motion. Changing it to the right street
Then
name.
it's roll call.
Yeah.
Okay,
Taylor Drive all you want.
okay. Okay, this is on the motion to amend. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. All right, that motion carries. And now we'll do the roll call on the resolution.
Mr.
Oh,
Schaefer.
Oh, any other questions?
sorry, any other questions? Okay, sorry.
There are just comments, a couple. Contingency is higher than a 10% than what we normally see. Is there a reason for that?
Good catch.
Based on that?
My question too,
Huh.
15%.
I recall being 12%.
12.
Yeah,
Put it in my head.
yeah. Yeah, it is higher than 10.
I can do math yet. See, look at that.
That's typically that I've always put 12% as a contingency.
Okay. Nothing, I,
No
with
scientific
everything else
reason.
we've seen come across has always been 10, so I'm fine. I just asking whether there was some meaning there or something that I missed. So you answered it. It's all
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
Then I had one other comment
Mhm.
and a compliment to Chris. There's 8 bids here instead of 2 or 1 like we've seen. So kudos to you to go out and get bids, and so I'm very happy with that, seeing more bids.
Agree.
Very good. Okay. All right, now we will have roll call, please, on this bill.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Zimmer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Reinecker.
Yes.
Great. Resolution 101, 2024 has passed. Resolution 102, 2024.
Mayor and council, this is a resolution granting the property owner of 1408 Lilton Lane, Kirkwood, Missouri, authorization for an encroachment of approximately 2 feet into the public right-of-way of Wilton Lane, 50 feet from the corner of Wilton Lane and Marco Drive for the replacement of an existing retaining wall.
Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Very good. Are there any questions or comments? No? All righty. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Zimmer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Reinecker.
Yes.
All righty. Moving on to Resolution 103, 2024.
Mayor and Council, this is a resolution granting an easement to the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District in the Kirkwood Train Station property located at 10 West Argonne Drive and authorizing the mayor to execute such easement on behalf of the city of Kirkwood.
Do I have a motion and a second to accept Resolution 103, 2024 as read?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on this?
I will tell you, I talked to Chris and he explained, I was asking between a temporary easement and a permanent easement that MSD will grant one way or the other, and I'm happy with the answer that he gave me, so I'm good with that. So
Hey, you're not going to tell us the answer though?
the answer is that MSD will do what they're gonna do, and if they have to come back in and tear it up, so the temporary easement is kind of a moot point at this point in time.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Trying.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? No. Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Zimmer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean,
Yes.
Councilmember Reinecker.
All right. Resolution 103, 2024 has passed. Resolution 104, 2024.
Mayor and Council, this is a resolution accepting the single source proposal of Creative Entourage in the not-to-exceed amount of $43,225 for Transportation Development District TDD Informational Survey and Communications Program, and authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a contract.
Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions?
I have one. Is this the company that's going to help us promote or, right words, inform the citizens?
Those are the right words.
Okay. So, and they're the same ones that we used in 2021
Yes,
when it failed.
yes, it is the same firm.
That to me isn't a real good resume to hire them again.
Well, I can understand that. I considered a number of situations there. We had discussions among staff and we talked with the mayor and some of the thought process on this. Basically, this company has all of our information. They've got all the analysis on the prior information. I think they were at a disadvantage. I mean, if you want to get into my own perception,
Yeah, sure.
okay. Basically, I think that they were at a disadvantage because they were brought in very late in the process last go-round, and the citizens were not familiar with a unique type of funding scenario. And there was organized opposition that was difficult to counter on such a short-term basis. And the information that was provided through the firm was excellent. Their methodology was excellent. I think that we learned from the prior experience what we need to be focusing on. And we've had discussions with council about having some more grassroots efforts and having an organized effort from citizens. On the advocacy side, the city can't advocate. So, we're not going to. We're going to get good information out and we're going to get good quality information that the citizens feel can help make them determine the best course of action. I don't feel that the last time we did that to the level that was necessary because we had an exceptionally short time frame from, frankly, the ballot measure was approved in August, and we weren't sure it was even going to be approved on time. So we didn't want to expend funds on on an informational campaign until we
That's
knew.
enough, right? I
Mhm.
get it. You want to hire them, hire them. I'm just,
No, I understand. I understand your thoughts.
I hope they're more successful this time.
I'll be glad to show you their resume. They are exceptionally good firm for these types of
Okay,
efforts.
Good.
And they are going to monitor the social media, which is an important piece that they did not do last.
That is correct. They were not involved in social media monitoring. That's part of the lessons learned.
And at what point were they brought in? How many, like, for example, how many months before? the
They
actual-
basically got their program together 30 days beforehand.
I mean, we don't have a lot of months between now and when it may come to, so we may still be in I don't know when it's going to be officially on the ballot, but that's November.
Well, we're shooting for November, yeah.
Right, so, and this is July and tomorrow will probably be August, so you know, there's,
They're
There's
going to
not
hit
a-
the ground running in August
Yeah.
this year.
there's not a lot of months in there, so they'd have to be gearing up pretty quickly.
Who responds to social media? Might be the city responding?
Well,
to
it's the
social-
city responding, but these folks can advise us to make sure we get the good information out.
Okay, but again, some city staff will be doing that.
Oh, yes. we have
Okay.
a
That's
Communications
just clarification.
manager.
Mark?
Yes, Councilman.
Yeah, to answer your question, and I was around during this last initiative. The communications manager, Mr. Doss, was the one that was responding to social media questions and comments. I thought he did an exemplary job of fighting a lot of misinformation, people that just completely poo-pooed it, twisted the facts, twisted the data, just got out there early and often, and hopefully we learned. And I think to your point, hopefully this firm has learned and can go back and analyze and say, okay, this is what we saw on social media, because there's always going to be that group that, well, they're going to say no, but this is what we've determined as the best way forward to do what we want to do in Kirkwood.
Just want to get the good information
I
out.
want to get the good information
That
out.
is correct.
So
I have a quick question. This was budgeted at 155,000. You're only spending 43,000. Is there more on this line item that's going to come out?
No, I think the primary budget is for the cost of the, actually, I'm not, what's budgeted at 155?
155.
Oh, that's the entire, I'm sorry. That's the entire professional services budget. That includes other things,
Okay, so there's other things. It's not just,
not just this
Not just
project
this.
at all. No, no,
Okay.
no.
okay.
Mayor,
Yes,
Carlos, you said they have an impressive resume. Was there any projects that you might know of that they have done?
They did the Brentwood Baum project, if you're
Okay.
familiar with that. There's
Okay.
whole list.
That's a big one. Okay.
Mhm.
Good.
all righty. Any more questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons?
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Councilmember Zimmer?
yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek?
Yes.
Councilmember McLean?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinecker?
Yes.
Resolution 104-2024 passes. Are there any city council reports? Councilmember Zimmer.
Yes. The city posted that we are moving the fireworks presentation to Friday due to inclement weather tomorrow. So thanks to the city for getting that out quickly and early and making that decision so that we're not left hanging tomorrow.
Mhm.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, that was good. Yes.
I went to the
Councilmember
first
Ron.
Green Tree meeting and those guys are the most organized people. It took about 20 minutes for this entire meeting. It was great. And then I went to the Downtown Business District meeting for the first time and they're looking for more members. So they need more members to join them.
Okay,
There's a lot of information, but that's the only thing they wanted passed along.
good.
Along those lines, as new restaurants come in at the James, do they get an invitation then to join?
You can be assured of that.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be part of it. Okay, Chief Administrative Officer report.
I have nothing to report, Mayor, at this time.
All right. City Attorney report.
Just a couple of things, Mayor. Since we were just talking about the TDD, I want to inform the city council that we actually held a public hearing before Judge Stewart out in St. Louis County on, I had to look it up, May 28th. And everything went fine. There were no negative comments. In fact, the only comment that we did receive was from
The Show Me Institute.
Show Me Institute, and that it was not adverse to utilizing a TDD. Quite to the contrary, they applauded us for using the TDD. They would have preferred if we tried to impose some kind of a gas tax rather than the TDD sales tax, recognizing that the gas tax would not have realized any significant funds, to be quite frankly. So it really was not an opposition. So I'm happy to say that we had no opposition. St. Louis County was represented. Again, they raised no opposition. In fact, they didn't come out and fully support it, but they came and acknowledged that they had no opposition to it. We have now filed what's referred to as a motion for declaratory judgment, which means that all the allegations in the petition should be taken as true. And we'd ask the court to issue an order in which they would find that we have satisfied all the statutory requirements and then place the ballot, the language of the ballot before the Board of Election Commissioners on or before August 27th. And that hearing is set for next Wednesday, July 11th. So we're way ahead of the game. We anticipate that the judge will issue the order in a matter of hours, if not days. I'm hopeful. He's been very cooperative and his clerk has been very cooperative. So we hope to get this matter before the Board of Election Commissioners within the next couple of weeks. So it ties obviously into the resolution that you all were just talking about. And I also want to inform you that I will not be in attendance at the meeting on July 18th. I will be out of town visiting my son, his wife, and grandchildren. So I'm looking forward to that. Pat and I are looking forward to that. So I'll miss you. Jackie Graves will be here in my absence.
I have a question for John. Is it okay to ask him?
I think it's okay.
All right, so you mentioned gas tax from the Show Me Institute. This made me think of something. I drive a hybrid car. I buy very little gasoline anymore. Is there any way we could tax people driving electric cars or hybrid cars for the roads?
Oh.
Short answer, I have no idea. I don't know how you could, Al. That's a
I
great
think it's something
question.
to think about because I'm not paying very many road taxes right now.
Well, if you have Kirkwood Electric, we will be charging you that way.
Nothing to compare to the car.
I understood.
So anyway,
And I don't think so. I don't know how you'd go about taxing that. How would you gauge?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You register the car.
That's a county issue probably.
Either that or a Jeff City issue.
Yes,
Big issue that going forward.
It is a big issue. It's a great question. This is kind of stumped the lawyer, Al, and you did it.
While you're on
right.
vacation, think of an answer.
Yeah. All right, city clerk report.
Yes, Your Honor. I just have one thing to report on, a scheduled upcoming public hearing for July 18th, 2024 for a request for a major site plan partial amendment at the Greenbrier Hill Country Club at 12665 Big Bend Boulevard to expand the approved sound mitigating fence. And that's all I have.
All right, great, thank you. See no further business. This meeting is now adjourned. The next regular scheduled meeting will be on Thursday, July 18th, 2024. Thank you all. Thanks for coming.
We got to say happy 5th.